What is up, you guys? Yonkos is here today to bring you my thoughts on One Piece chapter 919, and basically, the reveal that the Kozuki family has been dead for over 20 years. Not only that, but that Momonosuke, Kinemon, Kanjiro, Raizo, and Kiku are actually from 20 years in the past, and they came to the future somehow. Now, I'll discuss that like later on in the video, but first things first, let me talk about the Tama and Speed stuff. Then from that point on, let me talk about the kids and how and what they're being taught in Wano Kuni, and also where Robin is actually a dancer. The house that Robin is actually a dancer for. That one guy, the one samurai, Kiyoshiro, and how he was talking about the so-called prophecy that Odin's wife laid on Wano Kuni. So first things first, when it comes to Speed and Tama, one of two things is going to happen. I can see mainly happening. Number one could be that Speed is actually a full-on servant to Tama, and she could work as a double agent for the Resistance, as well as the Beast Pirates, where she could be relaying information and stuff to through Tama, so that way she can relay stuff to Luffy much later on in the arc, to let them know what the Beast Pirates are planning on doing and how they plan on advancing, so on and so forth. But I can see that backfiring, and one of the calamities probably, or one of the headliners, going after Speed and trying to kill her, or beating her to near death. Or that could happen almost like very soon, because Jack is going to be on the move very soon, since Hold'em was taken down, and if he catches wind that Speed is working for Tama, then he probably will see that as betrayal and probably will try to kill Speed. But again, we don't really know how Jack is around his crew and how he treats his crew members, so we need to see what will happen there. But we do know that he's very aggressive. Another thing that I can see happening is that Speed is just acting like she's Otama's servant, and could actually be taking Otama to Jack right now. So that could be another thing that that could be happening. But yeah, so we'll see where that goes when it happens. Now, we found out that in this chapter that what they're teaching to the kids in Wano Kuni is that it's bad for the borders to be open, because you let evil ideals from people in other countries come in, and also that other countries, they strive to be closed borders just like Wano, and where that's not really the case from what we've seen in the outside world. So basically, they're brainwashing the kids to thinking that an isolated country where you're in closed borders, it's a good thing because it protects your people from evil ideals, and so on and so forth. And Orochi is basically praised as a savior, and the Kozuki family is nothing but evil criminals. We also did find something very interesting about Orochi himself, and we find out that Orochi, he's actually a two-sword style user. So I'm actually even more hyped now for the match between him and Zoro coming on later down the road. From that point on, we go over to what was it? The Kurosumi family household, and we get introduced to a samurai named Kiyoshiro. And basically, he was drunk and talking about how Orochi is nothing more than a coward, and basically, he tells us about the prophecy that Odin's wife did 20 years ago, that after a bunch of moonlit nights in the course of 20 years, 9 samurai will appear to kill to kill Orochi. Holy crap, I'm fucking up left and right. The one dude was like, wait, but the Kozuki family has been dead for over 20 years now, and that pretty much, like, at first threw me off a little bit, but then I realized, oh shit. And so then we move forward to Luffy meeting up with his half of the crew, and Zoro, he runs off somewhere. He probably got lost again because of Zoro. And Okiku and Kinemon, they actually reunite, and it seems that Okiku and Kinemon probably have possibly an intimate relationship with one another, or maybe a master-disciple relationship. So that could be a thing right there. And then at the end of the chapter, it was revealed that those 5, Okiku, Kinemon, Momonosuke, Kanjiro, and Raizo, they're actually from 20 years in the past. So most likely they were sent there by Odin's wife. And I see a lot of people speculating that. So Odin's wife, especially since he prophesied that there'll be 9 samurai and there are 9 current members of the Straw Hat crew, unless like they're gonna be like 4 more samurais, actual samurais showing up. But maybe Odin's wife is like Madame Shirley and Basil Hawkins, where she could possibly have like OD observation hockey, but her observation hockey has to be, for her to see that far into the future, she would need like something as a mediator, similar to Madame Shirley, where she needs her orb to tell fortunes and to look into the future and so on and so forth. So it probably is the same case with here, and maybe she had a devil fruit that allowed her to manipulate time, but I think it might be through some other means. Maybe those 5, Kinemon, Momonosuke, Raizo, Kanjuro, and Okiku, they were probably could have been put in like a state of suspended animation where they were just trapped, like maybe chronostasis. Maybe she could have just had a time-based devil fruit that could have just been like chronostasis, where she could just trap them in a space of time for 20 years straight until like they got out, or like or basically they could have been in suspended animation for all we know. So and basically now they're just stuck here in the future and they can't go back in the past. So so hopefully we'll see how that turns out. Now I think this is a much easier way to do time travel in One Piece, because I don't think we should do like Back to the Future type shit or something, because that's just like would just be too complicated. But I think this aspect of time travel is like the easiest one to do, because these guys come from the past instead of coming from the future to change the past and so on and so forth. And most likely, I hope it's the case that they cannot go back to the past, because it's like, what would be the point of going back to the past if if you guys just came here to do this and that and put an end to Orochi and so on and so forth, unless you came to get them, to take them to the past, get the Straw Hats to take them to the past along with the Minks to battle Kaido and Orochi then, to save the Kozuki family and open the borders of Wano. But again, like, that's most likely not the case. It's most likely it's going to happen in main time. Kinemon and the others, they're stuck here permanently, and that'll be it. So I really hope that's the case. I do find it interesting, and I kind of wonder, how did Kaido and the others catch wind of this? And I get Orochi was freaking out, but how did they catch wind of Kinemon, and how did they catch wind that Raizo was on Zou and so on and so forth? They just like when they went into came to the future, they just happened to like get caught by the Beast Pirates, or like by like the Beast Pirates that were there 20 years ago who killed the Kozuki family, and they recognized them immediately, like, oh shit, what the fuck? Like, yeah. Or they probably could have possibly knew about Odin's wife's devil fruit, because as far as we know, Odin's wife is probably still alive. She's probably like an old lady by now, but she probably is most likely still alive for all we know, because we didn't know if she died or not. We could say that she supposedly died along with the rest of the Kozuki family, along with her husband, but that probably could not be isn't the case, and she could be like being held in a dungeon by the Shogun for all these years or something. So that's pretty much my thoughts on this chapter of One Piece. Let me know what you guys think about the chapter. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Peace.